We're celebrating Yorkshire Day. I'm wondering if you could think about it, like literally how many places in Yorkshire do you reckon you have visited? And could you beat the number listed in a song by my next guest? He is a singer-songwriter. Well, he's actually a rapper, really, alternative rapper and music producer, Wilco Wilkes. Now, before we hear the piece in question, because I'd really like to build up to it, actually, for Yorkshire Day, let's have a little chat. Hi, Wilco. Hello.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
Yes, I'm not too bad at all. Tell me a little bit about, can you tell me a bit about your story, first of all, as a recording artist? Because how did you journey into it? Did it come from a little bit of a difficult time for you?
Yeah, it sort of did, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I always loved music and live music and stuff like that, but I never really played an instrument or did anything. I kind of wanted to do some gigs, and I did struggle with my mental health a bit throughout my teenage years and my 20s, and then finally made a decision in my early 30s, right, I'm gonna just try and write a few songs and do a few gigs and see if I can get there. And it all kind of snowballed from there, and then now here I am on Radio Leeds talking to you.
And rap particularly, what is it about that as maybe a genre? Does it connect with you? Is it like, does it feel like poetry as well, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I always think it's poetry over music, and it's a way that you can tell your story. It's a way that people have told stories for decades now, and it's accessible. You know, you don't have to be able to sing. You don't have to be able to play an instrument. Anyone can kind of do it and join in. And yeah, I do a lot of work with young people and tell them similar. I think rap is a really accessible way to get into music.
Yeah, you do loads of workshops, don't you? Do workshops with young people. Do you do workshops with people of all ages, actually?
I do, yeah. I don't do loads of adult ones, but I did one a couple of weeks ago, yeah, with Fanfare Music there in Yorkshire. And but yeah, I run a program called Rap for Good, where I do a lot of workshops in Bradford and Leeds and places like that, working with young people to build their confidence and skills.
Brilliant. And do you gig a lot, actually? Do you do a lot of performance?
I don't. Yeah, I do. I do gigs. That was my first aim, was just to do some gigs. So I hit it quite hard a couple of years ago. I was doing loads of gigs. I'm not doing as many now, right. But I'm open for business if anyone wants to get in touch and needs an alternative, family-friendly rapper. I think my next one's is Saltaire.
All right. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about the background to Yorkshire. I've seen it all, because I actually think might be from a couple of years ago, but tell me about the process of writing it and creating the video and stuff.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I wanted to do was write an ode to Yorkshire and kind of put it in my own words. I didn't want it to be like your typical stereotype, e-bar gum, flat caps and whippets and that kind of thing. I wanted it to be more my own experience. And yeah, I've been working in the region for many years, and out and about. I've visited a lot of places and just sort of started writing them down, and then started finding a few rhymes between them, and it kind of started to write itself that way. And yeah, it's gone down quite well.
How many places do you mention? Do you know exactly?
Yes, there's 135 places in Yorkshire in that song.
135. And have you definitely been to all of them?
I've definitely been to all of them, yeah. I'm actually started writing a follow-up as well of all the places that I haven't been to. That might run into the thousands.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like we need to have it. Is there anything else we should know about it before we hear it? I mean, well, tell us a little bit about the video as well. Is that you sort of like stomping around all these places?
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of cobbled together on my travels. I would just get my wife to film me for a few seconds here and there, and piece them all together. So I did the video myself. Again, that's another thing I kind of learned to do on this journey. But yeah, it's a really fun song, and I think it's one of my songs that people remember the most when I talk to people.
Yeah, do you remember it though? You know, if you have to perform it, can you remember all these words?
I can, yeah, I did it. I performed it actually in front of the Mayor of West Yorkshire as well, Tracy Bravin, last year, in the West Yorkshire Poet Laureate Awards, which was a really cool experience for me. And yeah, I do it live. I remember it like the back of my hand.
Oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. Well, we shall have it. If people want to look you up, by the way, you do have a website. Do you want to mention it?
Yeah, sure. It's just wilcowilkes.com. That's Wilco with a K, like the shop, and then Wilkes with an ES.
Perfect.
Or just Google Wilco Wilkes, they'll find me.
Lovely. Would you like to introduce your song? So introduce yourself and introduce the song, and then I'll press the big button and we'll all hear it.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Okay. Thank you, people of Leeds, for listening. This is Yorkshire, I've Seen It All by Wilco Wilkes.
Here we go. Happy Yorkshire Day. Bye.
I grew up on the mean streets of Menston and Ilkley. I've missed out Ben Ridding.
Yorkshire. Wilco Wilkes there on BBC Radio Leeds. It's called Yorkshire.